The case of Ewart Dudley, an author by choice, but a civil servant by profession, who first came to me in February 1955, was one of these. His doctors told him he was suffering from a condition known as chronic spastic colon, complicated by diverticulosis and diverticulitis of the transverse and descending colon. Translated into less complicated language, this meant that he was suffering from a serious bowel complaint which 10 years of the best medical treatment had failed to cure. The regular use of powerful drugs had contributed to lessening the intense pain, but rigorous diet had sapped his strength. He was desperately underweight and in no fit condition to undergo the major operation which would be necessary should the colon close. It was a grim prospect for any man to face. That was his condition when he first came to me, a very ill man going steadily downhill, a man in continuous pain who was losing strength and beginning to lose hope. I gave him contact healing from Red Cloud. At the end of 3 weeks he began to show the first signs of improvement. We continued the treatment. For 12 months he visited me once a month for 45 minutes. At the end of this time the bowel complaint was far less acute and his general health had improved out of all knowledge. After the first 6 months he had been able to reduce his intake of drugs from 3 times to once per day, and after a year he was able to do without them altogether. 6 months later he stopped having colonic lavage, and his visits to me were reduced to 1 every 2 months. By December 1957 his bowels appeared to be perfectly normal. Though he still had to be careful with his diet, he claimed he was in better health and was more active than at any time since 1944. The cure took time, but it was successful. In recording these cameos of spirit healing, I do not for one moment suggest that orthodox medicine should be superseded by spirit healing. As long as we have physical bodies, medical treatment will be necessary to repair them when they run down. But there are instances when medicine falls short of what is required. It is then that spirit healing, with its much greater reserves to draw on, can sometimes play an astonishing part.